friends, today we are going to discuss something about effective writing of a resume. I know that every one of you is very fond of applying somewhere after completion of your degree program. At that time, we come across with these terms, that is biodata or CV, curriculum vitae or resume, and our senior friends used to convey us it, send me your resume and I will ask to my HR manager if there are any vacancies or something. So at that time we try to collect some information about how to prepare a resume, but I feel that at the very first moment when you enter your degree program, the moment you enter in the college, you should be very peculiar about decorating your resume, maintaining or adding certain things in your resume so that at the last moment you will be not in a trouble. So on that subject, I am a Dr. Praveen Bankar, Assistant Professor at Veterinary College Akola, PGIBS, and I wanted to express my deep sense of thanks to the organizer who gave me an opportunity to interact with you. So today I am going to discuss about effective writing of resume. Otherwise, every one of you are quite aware about maintaining their own biodata for any job applications, for any other purpose, but the way in which you are expressing yourself effectively, that is going to struck down in the eyesight of the HR manager, and that's why the entrepreneurs or the young aspirant, they should maintain their resume in an effective way. So let us discuss. So I think what we are going to learn today, that I should clear. First is the objective of why you should prepare the good resume. Then the concept, certain things about the resume, biodata and the CV, as well as I would like to share some tactics to write the resume effectively. So the first question which struck in our mind is that why to prepare this CV or biodata or resume? If you ask yourself, so most of the time your mind will answer you that I should get a suitable job at a suitable vacancy position if available there, as per as your knowledge, your skills, your attitudes, all these things. Considering all these things, you are in search of certain job, and that's why you feel that I should get such and such job. So what you do, you used to accumulate all the things you have, you include in a bunch of papers and submit to the job givers or the managers or the directors of any company, and then at that time you realize or you come to know that I have to submit some information to that manager, but the job givers, they have not considered your resume or your biodata or CV in that way what you expected. So first thing is that your this preparation of resume or CV or biodata, consider this is an opportunity to reflect your personality. Don't focus on how you are getting the job. First of all, that documents, that resume or the biodata, that should be an tool or platform to express yourself. It should be the reflection of your personality. If it is so, then it could make some useful application. Then another question raised in your mind, what I should include in my resume or in my biodata, or what should I exclude, isn't it? So hurriedly I will tell something about the resume. First of all, the resume, it is a brief description. It is a written account of your personal, educational, professional qualification and the experiences developed for a specific job application. If it is the case, then only you will say it as a resume. Then the curriculum vitae, we can say the CV is your description in a detailed chronological manner. CV or curriculum vitae, it is a detailed chronological overview of a person's educational and professional history that has been provided as a job part of application. So there is slight change between the CV and resume. Also, the third term, that is a biodata. Biodata, factually, it focuses on personal particulars along with the chronological listing of your education and experience. So we know that when we try to prepare this resume or biodata, then what we are going to do, we are collecting the copies from our seniors, from our friends, our family members, and try to replace our personal details with the others. So this will not be that much useful. So that's why we'll see in detail what actually the resume or CV or biodata is. If we see the word resume, this is a French word. It means a summary. Okay, and this resume is ideally a summary of your education, your skills which you have acquired, and if you have employed somewhere, then it is about your employment. So the collection of your education, skill and employment when you are applying for a new job. Are you getting this thing? A resume does not list out all the details of your profile, but it will point out some specific skills which have been customized for your target job profile. Say for example, if you are applying for the post of computer scientist or computer operator, and if you are listing the skills of your laboratory techniques which you are acquainted, so that is not going to fulfill your purpose. So not only your education will satisfy the requirement of a HR manager, at the same time you will have to point out your specific skill which have required by the target job. Generally, this resume is limited to 1 to 2 pages only. We have many of our friends used to communicate us, give as much as information, right from your childhood or whatever you have received, or the prizes bag and whatever your achievements, but it may cross the limits of 1 or 2 pages, and it is very hard to shortlist your resume when there is a bunch of resume received by the HR manager. So we have to understand this resume should be maintained for 1 to 2 pages only. Okay, a resume usually written in the third person to give it an objective and formal tone. So the first thing, that you should not exaggerate your personality in your resume. It is expected that how you are, that should be reflect in your resume, rather than your magnified image. I am such a honest and very sincerely hard worker. Many students are mentioning in their objectives a very because in the Google we used to receive so many quotes, ready-made objectives from the another's resume. So that is not going to uh, solve the purpose. It should be in your about yourself, which may be a third person opinion about you, and it should be in a formal tone. Then a resume would be ideally suitable when experienced people apply for specific positions where certain specific skills are more important than the education. This is the major objective of this preparation of resume. The vacancies or the jobs are open for solving the particular task, and that particular task is in a need of the persons which are clever at specific skill. So if you are ignoring that specific skill required for that particular post, so your resume will be, or your achievements whatever you have received, that will be of no use. So generally when you are applying for a specific position, then your resume should focus on your specific skills. In general, the structure, what it should include in your resume: a good resume would start with a brief profile of a candidate, then the summary of qualification, then the area of expertise, and then your professional experience, and that too in a reverse chronological order. A reverse chronological order means, say for example, this is year 2021, so you should quote first professional experience in this year 2021, then 2020, then 2019, then 2018, likewise in declining order, or in a from present to the past situation. Okay, then the resume should focus, this focus should be on the most recent experiences, that recent experiences which are indicating your responsibilities and accomplishment you have shouldered, and your previous experiences only presented in a summary form. So this is very important. You should focus on what experiences you have received. This would be followed with the educational details or professional affiliations and voluntary initiatives. So this is in general the rough what we can say structure of resume. Now what you should include in a chronological resume format: your contact information, which is very most important, your mobile, your email, then your resume summary, your professional title, then your work experience, your skills, your education qualification, and if suppose the addition sections you can include according to your area of education. Now why this reverse chronological resume format is good? It is good for the people who are working with all level of work experiences, also for the people looking for a job in a field similar to their work experience, is it? Then the people without large gaps in their work history, say for example, if the people, those who are working in the consistently working in particular area, so at that time the resume, the chronological resume, reverse chronological resume will raise the picture about the how that person has evolved as a skillful person in that field. Then the people applying for a job in more traditional industry like accounting, finance, engineering, because here the more attention is given to the experience holders. So that's why this reverse chronological resume format should be considered. Then the another resume format is a functional resume format, where you should include your contact information, your resume summary as earlier, professional titles, skill summary, additional skill, work education, work experience, and your education. This thing you can add as reverse chronological format. This functional resume format, it is good for the people with high level of work experiences, then people making career change to a field unrelated to their work experience. This functional resume format, because here you are not going to mention the chronological aspect of your skill. That's why, because many time in pharma field or in some private sector, where a person has to change their career pathways according to the requirement of the market, or according to the some crisis or situations. So now recently we had experienced this COVID situation. So many of us have shifted their work profile from a one field to another field. So in that way, in that case, a functional resume format, it is good. It is a choice of resume preparation. Then people with unusually large gaps in their work history, generally the women candidate, means after completion of their education and certain job profile, they have to go with their family settlement, and after wedding and all these things, there might be a gap of 3-4 years, 5 years, and then again they wanted to start their career. So at that time, such a female candidate, they can use this functional resume format, because this functional resume format, this is moreover focusing on the skill rather than your experience, and that's why the people applying for more creative or skill based role, means designing, computer programming, that are quite suitable for this resume format. Now we had seen two type of resume format, reverse chronological format and functional format. Now sometime we have to use this combination. This is known as a combination resume format. So that should include the contact information, skill summary, additional skills if you have, work experience, and education. So here three things are more important in your combination resume format. So combination resume format should mention your skills and certain additional skills and your work experience. Here we are giving equal weightage to the skills and experience. So that is the combination resume. So in case of skill or additional skill and the work experience, the layout for this combination resume format, it is very flexible. You can choose any order of skill or work experience section, and it is very simple that whatever additional skill you are supposed to include, that should be mentioned followed by the skill summary. Okay. So this combination resume format, it is very nice for the people who are making career change with skill and work experience that apply across the industries. For example, a computer science student, if he is switching over to the pharma industry, or certain people with some employment gaps, or the people with diverse range of skill and experiences. Many people, they are not a scientist, but they are moreover they have a very good literacy of computer science, and they can work in both the field. So for such people, this is very nice format, combination resume format. And when the people applying to creative or traditional role, in that case also this combination resume format is good. Now the question remains same: when and where to use the resume. First step, you should look at the job posting to see whether the employer is asking for a resume or a CV, isn't it? First of all, go through the advertisement, what has been asked, whether the employer is asking for submission of a resume or your curriculum vitae. And it is very possible that you will be asked for a resume if you are applying with the multinational companies. So in nutshell, looking toward your stage of career, either you may be at entry level, mostly the students, or the mid career level, or the senior level. So these are the three roughly we can say levels of your career stages, and at what stage you should use what type of a resume. When you are a student or at the entry level, you are supposed to use the reverse chronological type of resume. If you are a senior person, then you are supposed to use moreover the all type of resume, reverse or functional or combination, look considering as far as your requirement. If you are mid career level candidate, then you should not focus on a functional type of resume. You should go with the reverse chronological type or the combination. Okay. So as a student, I expect that every one of you should be well acquainted with the reverse chronological type of resume, and that will be very much relevant to you. Many times I have already mentioned that we are taking the resume copy from our senior, and we are editing that soft copy or preparing our own copy in the same pattern, and you expect that the your senior candidate was selected for such and such job with using this resume. It means that I would be there are chances to get selected with the same format. So we have to avoid this foolishness, because this format of resume, it is not going to depict your personality. This is just a structural aspect which is being provided by your friend, but whatever points are there included in your resume, that is the real picture of your personality. So in this funny cartoon, a very simple way, it is the employer is asking to the person, and the student is quite astonished that what do you mean, it is not a good resume, everyone in my college is using the same format. So first of all, you should have your own format rather than using the copy paste resume format. Okay. So that's why I would like to quote some tips to write one page resume, how we could assemble our how we should summarize or the resume in a concise manner. First of all, you should shorten the number of bullet points in your work experiences. Rather than giving one by one bullet, you should you may instead of giving a sentence, you can point out in a bullet form. You should focus firstly on achievements and then start with the action verb and the number or the percentage, isn't it? Action verb means creation of such and such task, so that is the action verb. So you should start with that words. Whatever achievements you have, if there, then you can mention that. Then you should remove your experiences that is older than 10 years if you have more recent work experiences. isn't it? I had worked as a such and such 20 years back. This is not going to make any purpose. So avoid that past experiences if they are not that much relevant. Remove also the experiences which are not at all related with your job or the post for which you are applying, isn't it? You are applying for the post of computer expert, and if you are mentioning that I am very good cook or I am very good painter, that is not giving any justified uh, picture. Include your latest and highest level of education. For example, if you have master degree, then no need to mention that I am a bachelor degree. If you are MSc student, you should quote only MSc. No need to quote BB, BSc, MSc, likewise. You should remove the articles from the your script like A and the. These certain many times these are unnecessary word, and you can concise your what you can say resume. Now, with respect to a student resume, I would like to quote certain points that the sections which are required to include in your resume. First, the contact information. Your ID, your email address should be very professional. You should not quote rakesh007@gmail.com. Huh? Your ID should be a professional email address. Your phone number. Many times, many students are quoting 2-3 mobile numbers in their resume. You should quote only one mobile number along with your city or the country, or if you are willing to relocate, and your professional social network profile. It means that you should only give, if required, your professional network profile. Say for example, you are a member of any social group, social network group, like Indian Association of such and such. This is a what we can say Facebook society or group is there. Then you should quote it. It will indicate that you are concerned with the professional colleagues or professional association and active on the social media also. So that sort of contact information you should mention. If suppose you have to concise the resume, your town address or your residential address, that should be minimum or minimized way. Then the professional summary. The student should include the professional summary for a resume which need a combine your most important achievement, your skill. So because you have to justify yourself to that employer for where you are looking for your job. So that's why your professional summary should be very, very precise manner. Another things, the sections which student should include is a professional title. Means in what way you are supposed to be matching your skill, your personality for the position. Say for example, you have a mention things about your research attitudes or your research achievements, and the vacancy or the title of your profession is about administration. So there will be gap, isn't so? Because your research profile is indicative of your research qualities, and the position or the vacancy is for the administrative post. Say for example, principal or vice principal or director. So that are the administrative post. You will have to consider for what kind of post I am going to apply. If the post is of what we can say teacher, and that is not going to solve the purpose if you are submitting the resume with the administrative backgrounds, isn't it? So you should consider about the professional title. Then the next section is education. If you are a master's student, postgraduate student, Then you should include your thesis, important courses which you have learned during your post graduation. If your grade points or your percentage are above the average, then you should also mention that. Then the work or the relevant experience, that if you have worked after the completion of your study during, for example, internship or in contractual platform, so they should mention their work experience if it is relevant. And those students which don't have any work experience, that we will come reading our guide that offer resume tips with no work experience. So that means that you should be very much aware about what points you should mention in your resume, like your volunteer experiences, your personal project if you have conducted, and your expertise or skills, isn't it? Many times if you don't have experience, but you may have worked in your college life, in, for example, in your NSS camp or NCC camp, or certain competitions, or certain college level programs or university level tournaments, where you are able to express yourself or reflect yourself with the qualities and skills which are matching your job requirement, then it will be a good aspect. Okay. Then the most important thing for students or graduate is that the soft skill. What kind of soft skill you will require to quote, or in your, not only it should be in your resume, but I think it should be embedded in your personality also. You should have good communication ability. You should be very comfortable with the communicating with each other. You should learn how to speak with the elders or youngers or professional colleagues. Then how to work in a team. What should be the your adaptabilities qualities, or the punctuality, or organizational instinct. So there are certain these are the certain soft skills means you will not be taught in any school or college. These qualities you will have to acquaint at your own level. Flexibility, should not be disturbed with certain bad experiences or errors or mistakes. You should regenerate yourself for the beginning of the that particular task. Then your problem solving abilities. No doubt, if you are working at any platform, at any organization, in any company, you are going to suffer with certain problems, and at that time your ability of what we can say solving the problem, that is the best I think say quality in your personality. You should be motivational. Your thinking should be motivational. You should motivate your colleagues, your team members. Then patience, persuasion, all these things are the what I can say major soft skill, along with your just like computer literacy or etiquettes of this communications. So that you should be aware. Again, some other sections you can include in your resume if you are a student, just to glorify yourself, that whatever conferences you have attended or participated, say for example in particular conference you have presented any research paper, that you should mention. If you have received any award, that you should mention. Particular courses, say for example if you are applying for the post of wildlife, and if suppose you don't have any work experience about the wildlife, but in your graduation, if suppose you have studied any course in your syllabus regarding wildlife science, So you can mention that ki I have a technical knowledge of this because I have learned this course in my graduation. So that is also helping you. Then the organizations, if suppose you are concerned with some student organizations, that should also be mentioned, because it is going to means you should not mention the organizations which are considered in a political aspect, isn't it? So the student organization where uh, scientific organization or some technical organizations are there, so it is going to indicate that you are working in a team, you are working in an organization, and you should be you might be well acquainted with the uh, how the organization work. So that is going to help you during your selection, I think say. Then whatever certificates or the publications or the awards, these things also you can mention if you are preparing the resume as a fresher. So this was something about the resume. Now I would like to quote something about the curriculum vitae. It is the Latin word which means that it is a course of life. Course of life itself is that it is a detailed picture of yourself, and generally it is more than 2 pages, 2 3 pages, or even in certain case it may be longer. It is listing about all your skills, your jobs, your position held, whatever degree program, professional affiliation, all these things mentioned in a chronological order. Then the structurally this may include the skills, your job positions, all these things. A CV should be used to highlight a general talent of a candidate rather than a specific skill. In a resume, we are more cautious about the specific skill because we were looking for particular vacancy or particular job. But in CV, this is a what we can say detailed report of ourselves. So generally, many graduate people looking for career change, they are going to mention all every possibilities, so that the whatever useful aspect of the that will be helpful. This CV should cover the previous achievement, education, professional work experience, personal projects if you have conducted, professional skills, then extracurricular experiences, awards, publication, if you have obtained extra courses, and whatever you have worked as a volunteer, all these things can be included in your CV. So say for example CV is a whole movie likewise, and the trailer is your resume, isn't it? When and where to use CV, that is also important. You should use the CV as a job posting. When you are in a job posting, an employer should list the material required for your application, and you may not always be explicit, in which case your best course of action is to contact your employer directly, ask which document you should submit. Many times it happens, we are very confused what I should submit or not. In that case, you should directly ask to your employer. CV is a preferred document for a job publication, generally in abroad. Many job in a public service or academia will require detailed CV to be summarized as a part of job application also, because you are being inspected at various dimensions. And this CV should you use when you are trying to change your career also, applying for different industry, different field, and where you don't have any previous work experience. That's why you are mentioning all the relevant irrelevant things in your CV, so that whatever qualities you have, any certain qualities may be useful for an employer. So some things you should be very cautious after completion of your CV. You should check the spell, email address should be proper, generally do not include your photograph and align your CV with respect to your the requirement of job. Don't over format including the logos. Hmm? So, don't forget to add your contact details. Cover any gaps in your employment. Do explain your achievement with fact and figure, but don't keep it down to 2 pages. Much more informative it should be. The third aspect is a biodata. Biodata is a short form of biographical data, or which this is an what we can say this is an outdated term, archaic term, which is generally used today for resume or CV. It is in general it is a personal particulars like birth, gender, religion, race, nationality, residential address, marital status. All these things should be included in biodata. Chronological listing of your education and experience, and mostly in India when the people apply for government job for research grants, they are supposed to submit their descriptive essays. So biodata are not common in the international markets because they are not requiring your personal detail like age, gender, religion, isn't so? So that's why a better way to focus on resume and the CV. Avoiding confusion between resume and CV uses when to apply CV. So don't assume that because you are in a particular country and applying for a specific company that you are expected to use certain document. Review the job application requirement provided by an employer. If it is unclear, contact the employer directly to know if you should submit the resume or CV or both. Is it so? I have already mentioned this thing. Then let us sum up our presentation. Before that, I would like to recommend that do refer some online tool which are available. Online resume builder are there, the softwares where you can that will be a great help. Then again the CV designer softwares are there. Even some the software like Grammarly are there which are checking your spelling mistake or grammar. So you may smartly use this toolkit. And at the last, I would like to suggest you that keep on updating yourself with the latest version, because your older version may not be able to adjust with the updates around you. In every field, every science, in every stream, every day we can say the new updates are coming over. And in that aspect you should be a very well acquainted, smart enough to acquaint that skill. Even if you see the picture of, if you have any mobile phone and if you just revise your collection of mobile phone, right from the black and white up to the smartphone, Android phone, every new technology is replace the old technology. And that's why you should not stick up with these whatever skill you have acquainted in your school life or college days or in your initial career. You should keep yourself updated with the whatever recent is happening. I used to see many senior person, they are very much reluctant to use the newer technology. But as a college student, you and me, being younger, we should adopt the newer technology, and we should adjust ourselves for the job profile. So with these words, I would like to conclude my talk regarding how to prepare effective resume. I am very much thankful to the principal of this Shankarlal Khandelwal College and the coordinator of this program, Dr. Varade Madam, and also to my associate dean sir. All of these fellows have permitted me, and that's why we could make a contact and we could make this talk. I am thank you very much, I would like to request to like. If you have any difficulty or any queries, you may contact me with this my email address and mobile. Thank you very much.